Hi, welcome to Elements in Focus. My name is Grant Soliven.
And I'm Aaron Rheaume.
We're so happy to have you joining us today. So Elements in Focus is an important part of what we do in planning, but it's also a message we want to share with all of you. When we talk about Elements in Focus, what Aaron and I are focusing on and speaking on generally in this time together are what we consider our 5 critical elements and how we do planning inside of each one of those. So again, here are the 5 critical elements that you can see that we focus on a daily basis when helping families. And the big one today, Aaron, that we're going to spend some time together looking through is your life after work. But more importantly, in that category, understand your standard of living. So Aaron, what is your standard of living?
Standard of living in the most simplistic terms is what it takes for you to maintain your lifestyle. So, do you have automobile payments, mortgages, credit cards, all of that stuff collectively? You can, average that out on a monthly basis. You can look at it quarterly, annually, whatever that is. It is the cost of you being able to live.
I love that. And when we look at standard of living with the families that we assist, Aaron, we generally break it down into 2 areas. What are those?
They are fixed versus social. Social is the fun stuff. It's the travel, the, going out with the grandkids, the dining out, the stuff that brings you joy. The fixed side is the things that you can't necessarily get away from. The cable bill, internet bill, stuff that is consistent every single month.
So that'd be a golf course then for someone like you and I?
Yeah, golf membership, obviously.
Love it.
Can't go without that.
I'll keep that in the fixed category. And understanding standard living is so important. And essentially when we have these conversations with family, Aaron's, we're always asked, is this a budget?
Yeah.
Technically speaking, it is when you're looking at standard of living. But we don't want you to we don't want it to feel like a budget because these are things that we have to manage while in retirement. Because again, when we're there, we're really kind of limited to mailbox checks, right?
Yes.
And what are those?
Your mailbox checks are things that show up on a monthly basis. So if you're blessed to have a pension, that's a mailbox check. Mm-hmm. It's a dollar amount that's coming in monthly. If you have rental properties that can provide a mailbox check on a monthly basis, Social Security is a mailbox check. If you're working still in retirement part-time, that could be a mailbox check. So all of those things can add up to reduce part of what your standard of living is. And Grant, just to bring this home, the reason we talk about standard of living at your life after work is because they're 2 separate things between standard of living and a replacement of income.
100%.
And so when we're gearing families towards that distribution phase of life, we have to focus them on standard of living and not replacing a certain percentage of their income.
You couldn't have said that more beautifully, Aaron. You're 100% correct.
One last example there is just take a look at, let's say, okay, your monthly expenses equate to $4,000 a month. That allows you to do all the fun stuff. So that's $48,000 a year. Let's say you're accustomed to making $100,000. Our industry says, hey, in order for you guys to retire or move to your life after work, you need 70% of that. That's not necessary. You need to replace that $4,000 a month, and that's what we try to help coach people through, is really figuring out that standard of living. And then last, and I'll shut up, Grant, is making sure when you're building out your standard of living, we talked about fixed versus social. You want to make sure, if you're doing this on your own, to take a look at your fixed expenses, and an inflation rate needs to be built into those. The social expenses, you can set a budget and keep that flatlined, but you definitely want to break the 2 out.
100%. And if you're looking for someone to help you with this, that's what we
Yes.
do. And when we work together and we're getting close to that retirement date, we'll do what's known as, or run as practice. I think the word, I love it, practice. We'll have a retirement practice year.
Yes.
So the year before you enter full retirement, we'll work through standard of living and see and make adjustments before those mailbox checks essentially kick in. So thanks for joining us on this topic of your life after work and standard of living. Please check out the Market Carver. You'll find that we don't really touch on investments too deeply in these conversations because our managing partner and chief investment officer, Adam and Joe, really do a great job of diving into what we're thinking about in the market space from FEG's perspective. So check that out. Please also take the time to listen to the podcast that we've got coming in. There we go. Consider this program. It can be found on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. And you can also hear us as we do our radio show on WIBC and Shine 99. And if you want to schedule a meeting and talk with Aaron, myself, or another advisor on the team, please give us a call at 800-928-4001 or check us out online at yourlifeafterwork.com. We'll see you around.